Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chia and today we're gonna be doing the year-end book tag. I love doing these year-end book tags because it goes over all the books that I actually read this year, and it also gives me a time to be retrospective and see how my reading tastes have changed this year, and also what I was leaning towards more, what I was leaning away from. I think the original person who did this tag, different questions have been like changed here and there, added here and there, but I think the main person who really created this tag was Destiny. I love Destiny. She's one of my favorite booktubers. She's a new mom now and I'm so excited for her. So let's get started. Okay, so the first book is Most Disappointing Book of the Year, and unfortunately that has to go to Dawn of Chaos and Fury by Melissa K. Rourke. This is the fourth and last book in the Legacy series. It's completely finished. This was the last book that was going to come out, but she's going to be writing more books in the same universe of Legacy and Lady of Darkness, and they're going to be sort of connected with each other somehow. I was disappointed with this because there was a certain trope that was used in this book that I don't really find to be my taste, and also I felt like the characters were not acting like themselves, at least to my particular opinion. And also I am a huge Tessa defender. I loved her in the first three books, and this book I just thought she was just not developing enough for me characterly, and I was such a huge Tessa defender. She came from like a background of abuse, and also a lot of people betrayed her and she couldn't trust anybody, so of course who wouldn't react like how she did. But I just felt like she was being like treated like a little child in here, and even from her perspective I didn't trust her. She was so unreliable, and for me to want to like a certain character I need to see character development. I honestly thought that she was such a layered character, but I just thought she didn't, not really necessarily change, but grow enough for me to actually root for her anymore. I love Theon. He's one of my favorite characters. I know a lot of people don't like Theon because of the certain choices that he makes throughout the series, but I always knew that he was going to have a big character redemption, and he did. But I felt like he wasn't even really present in this book. There are so many things I didn't like about this book. I hated the fact that it was 700 pages, and I thought that conflict got wrapped up so quickly at the end, especially for a book that like was focusing on a big villain problem, because they were trying to change a certain way of society, and they were trying to change the way the Fays were being treated by the legacies, and I just felt like for it to be that big of a series and big of a problem, and yet it have a quick solution like that. But the two things that did save it for me was the POV of Axel. I thought he was the one who grew the most out of the whole entire characters, and also the situation that he was in was great for his character and the choices he made to protect the people he loved. I was rooting for him the whole entire time, and also I liked the POV that we got from a certain source named Eviana. There were so many layers to her character. I can't believe that's how she was treated her whole entire life. I feel like she has such a sad character backstory. She was mistreated, especially since like the way she was being treated as a Fae source was definitely how all these other Faes are being treated. They were just made to be tools and like slaves, and I was so ready to see that kind of like change in this world. The way it went about it I just didn't like, and I'm so sad because I was anticipating this. The first three are still 5 stars to me, but unfortunately because of this huge disappointment I gave it a 3.75. Next one is an underrated book, and that has to go to Rhoda Bones by Demi Winters. It's the first book in the Ashen series, and I think this whole entire series is not talked about enough. When I read these two books that are out right now, a third book's coming out in February, I felt the same feeling I had when I read Throne of Glass. It has a similar themes to it. It's a strong female main character. She's not an assassin at all, but she does have to go on a journey in order to find herself and be strong enough in order to lead her people. And she comes across characters from the Blood Axe crew, and they help her find her own footing in this world and teach her how to fight and train her how to become strong, and she has to make choices on her own in order to be the person that she needs to be in order to complete what she has to do at the end of the day. And also I love the found family that she finds in here, and I loved that there was a new POV that was introduced in the second book that was connected to her, and they are in different parts of the world, and it's so similar to Throne of Glass because I know that all these different characters who are in these different parts of the world accomplishing what they need to do are gonna have such a huge like big event happen at the end when they all come together, similar to Throne of Glass. I love it so far. It's made me cry so many times, especially in the second book when we have to read certain backstories about different people and see them basically fight to change in order to become stronger. Also there's like POVs from the villain as well, and you hate this villain but at the same time you kind of understand where they're coming from. It's such a good series and I wish more people talked about it. It's so underrated. The next question is a book that surprised me, and that has to go to The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payne Kevin Smith. When I first picked it up and I heard about it, I thought it was just gonna be a super average read. I just wanted something fun to read in between like my big reads. I absolutely fell in love with this whole entire story. It follows a character named Ivy, and it's her season to come out to society and be a part of like the balls and everything in order to find a husband. And in this world, the queen ends up bartering with each of the girls who enter society during that year. They barter with her to get a magical bargain where they have to give up something of themselves in order to like gain a talent or become better at a certain thing or become prettier or change a certain feature, but they would have to give up something that is a part of them. We follow a character named Ivy, and she joins this year because she wants to basically clean up her family name. So absolutely, this book was like such an unexpected love for me. I gave it a 4.5 stars. I love the twist in the ending, and also I really like that we got chapters from each of the girls who are in this competition because they become friends with Ivy, and they all join together to basically like overcome the problem in this book. I absolutely loved it, and I cannot wait for the second book to come out. I think it's going to be a duology. Next up is your favorite couples of the year. That has to obviously go to Zayden and Violet. I think their character development in combination with the character development in their relationship was so much better. I thought Iron Flame was necessary for them to basically hone out the problems they have in their relationship and the miscommunication stuff that was happening, because it was important to the twist that happened at the second book and how the third book ended. I am so scared on what's going to happen between them. I can't wait to see how much more their relationship develops after it goes through a lot of things that are happening in the series. Next one is Sam Kyle and Diana. If I could have loved them even more, it was this year. Diana is such a strong female character. I love that she's morally gray and she would do anything to protect Sam Kyle, and vice versa. Sam Kyle will do anything to protect Diana, but he will not like try to protect her to the point where he doesn't like let her fight or anything, because he knows if he tries to control her, do anything, it will turn out really bad for everybody. And she's so strong that you don't have to worry about her getting hurt, but he will still worry about her still because obviously he cares for her. I love them both as a couple because they're so strong together. There's not one individual person who's stronger than the other. They're both equally matched, and we need more characters like that. And then of course, this is one of my favorites. It's a standalone. It's from Rebecca Ross. It's Vincent and Matilda. The absolute yearning and also the tension between them two, like it's not insta love that you feel for them. It's like they've been meant to be with each other since the beginning. Like how they meet and how they become, how they are together. It's so good. I absolutely love this book and I devoured it when I got an arc of it. I love their relationship so much, and I honestly feel like I like them better than Roman and Iris, which is like a strong thing to say because I absolutely love them in Divine Rivals, but I think Vincent and Matilda had a better love story. Next is hype books that I hated, and there's only one clear winner for this question. Silver Elite by Danny Francis. I ranted about this in my overhyped fantasy books. This book was not worth the hype for me. I despise the female main character. It was such an insta-lust book. Like it was just a reality TV show, and it was definitely not worth the hype, and I wish it wasn't advertised the way it was. And for those people who do love it, I'm so happy for you that you love it. I wish I did. Trust me, I wish I did. I try to find the positives in everything in this book, but I found just more negatives than positive, and even the story like alone was not enough to fix like the character problems. That's the thing about me and stories. If I don't like the characters, I'm not gonna like the book. Why should I read about these characters who I heavily dislike and don't root for or want to see any redemption in if I don't like the characters? Even if the plot is super strong, if the characters are not it for me, it's not gonna be a good book for me. So unfortunately, I despise this book and I think it's so overhyped. A hype book that I did love, on the other hand, was Ascended by Greenwich and Lennox. I loved how the story was done. It follows a character who can wield starlight and use it as a weapon, and also she is such a strong female character, Thais. And is it Thais or Thais? It says Thais in the book, whatever. Anyways, and she is such a strong female character. I love the complexities of this world and the different layers, and the trials are so well done in this book. The trials are so unique and different and nothing to what we've read before, which I absolutely love. We need more stories like that where they have like very unique trials. If you're gonna do a trial, do it like The Ascended did. It was so well done. I think the characters were so well done. I love her relationship with the main character. I love the main character. He is the Prince of Death. He's a necromancer. So I absolutely love this book and I wish more people read it. And also the ultimate question is, do you need to read Riftborn and Deathbound beforehand? No, you do not need to read it, but if you want the full emotional impact of the last chapter, especially read Riftborn and Deathbound because it's going to make so much more sense to you. But you do not need to read those books in order to understand understand the story. This is a perfect book that stands on its own. It's gonna be a duet, and I think the second book is gonna come out in 2027. It was supposed to come out in 2026, but the authors have since been traditionally published, so I'm so excited for them, and I can't wait to see more from them and see how this concludes. And then the next one is my favorite secondary characters. That has to go to Several from Golden Sun. He's so loyal, but he's also a psychopath, and I'd rather have that loyal psychopath on my side than on the other side. And I love how deep his character is. It's so layered. He is more than what he shows us other people, especially the Howlers. He absolutely loves his friendship with Darrow, true ride or die. I love Several so much. And the next one is Carrion. Everyone loves Carrion. He's the comedic relief in Quicksilver. I love the character development he got in Brimstone, and also how we learn more of his story. He's more than just a funny quippy one. He has like so much layers to him, and I love learning about his backstory. And the last one is Axel. He made Dawn of Chaos and Fury for me. That's like I said at the earlier one. He had such a huge character development. I loved his character development and the way his story turned out. I thought he grew way more than any of the main characters did. That's why Axel is going to be my favorite from that book. And then the next one is new favorite authors that I discovered this year. That of course has to go to Greenwich and Lennox. It was funny, my whole entire thing with their books is because Riftborn I didn't like that much. I think I gave them 1 of 3 stars, but Dustbound, the second book in the Esprithian trilogy, completely changed my mind. I absolutely loved Dustbound. I love the love story in it. I love where our plot is going, and like the shadow creatures you interact with and the shadow creatures you fight. Oh my god, it was so good. Highly recommend picking it up. And if you didn't like Riftborn like I did, I would suggest waiting until it's traditionally published, because they said they're gonna do some revamps on Riftborn. And also I think The Ascended was like their best book yet, and each book that they release it gets better and better. So absolutely love Greenwich and Lennox from this year. The next question is, what is the happiest book I've read this year? And that absolutely has to go to If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia. Such a 90s sitcom feeling in the middle of like the perfect season, and it goes into Christmas time too. I love the couple in this book. I love that it was a slow burn, and also I like the different characters that you get to meet in the small town. I think this was done so differently than other contemporary romance books that we have. It's so good, and I love the cover of it as well. It's so pretty, and it's such a fall feeling, and it reminds me of Gilmore Girls because it's set in the small town filled with eccentric characters. The next question is, book you haven't stopped thinking about. That has to go to The Favorites by Lane Fargo. It was such a surprise about how much I love this book. I picked it up on the whim because everyone was talking about it. This book is a literary fiction. It follows a character who is a figure dancing competitor, and she wants to go to the Olympic gold, and she has a figure dancing partner who she's been childhood best friends with, and so they go off and train in this academy because they get invited to do it because they see such potential in her. It follows how ambition can break apart people, and also the drama and the toxicity of like the figure dancing, figure skating world. How you have to sort of like step on other people to get what you want, and it's so unfortunate that it's like that. I love the whole documentary like spin to it, how the interviews of like the characters who witness this couple like be toxic to each other, and also the different things that happen during their reign as figure dancing competitors during this academy, and also during the different stuff that they competed in. It's so drama filled, but the great thing about it is the filming character I felt like grew a lot. She had such great character development. I'm still not sure about the ending because the ending was just so unsettling for me because it didn't feel complete, or not really necessarily complete. I just didn't like how the outcome was, but I haven't stopped thinking about it since I read it, and so this was one of my favorite reads of this year. It's so good. I recommend people to pick it up, but if you're like really iffy on like toxic characters, this might not be for you because it does get pretty toxic, especially during like points where they're competing at the Olympics and stuff. But it was such a good read, and I can't stop thinking about it. Okay, second to last question is the cringiest books I've read this year, and that award has to go to Bride and Mate. It was so cringy. I enjoyed my time reading it. I really did. I did think it was a great palate cleanser, but the stuff that happened in it, I cringed so hard in it, especially with the points where nodding and heat came into the picture. If you know, you know. I didn't enjoy reading about that part. I really don't care that I know the knowledge of it now, but apparently it's very common in like the Omegaverse, like Alpha and beta stuff and like wolf shifter stuff. It's very common in that. I don't really read that kind of stuff, so it's not really common to me, but wow, was it a cringy read. I would continue if there was like another book in the series, but it's just funny how much cringy it was, but I expected it, you know, nonetheless. The last question I want to answer is unpopular book that you love, and that has to go to Amid Clouds and Bones by Ella Fields. So many people hated this book. I get why a lot of people hated it. It's very cringy. There's a really like kind of spicy things that happen for like the smut scenes that a lot of people I know would not like. I knew that the mailman character a lot of people wouldn't like, but I devoured this book. I gave it a 4.5 stars. I read it back in April, I want to say, earlier in the beginning of the year. It's still on my mind. I really liked how the relationship turned out and the characters and how they were like really enemies at first, and then there was this whole entire like wrench thrown into their relationship, and I was kind of like thrown off by that second point where it got thrown into the plot. I didn't know where they were going with it, but I liked exploring the world. I love the cruel fae in this book. I don't know why. It was a guilty pleasure of mine and I absolutely loved it. I gave it a 4.5, but I know a lot of people hated it. I think Raven-haired Reader gave it like a 2 stars. It like reading is subjective, and like I knew a lot of people were not gonna like it, but for some reason it scratched an itch in my brain. It really did like resonate with me, and I really liked it despite how spicy it was. But I did really like this unpopular book. That was all the questions I'm gonna answer for the end of the year book tag. If you want to answer in the comments, or if you want to answer with your own video, I'm gonna leave the questions down below in the description box. Anyways, I had such an amazing reading year this year. I read less than I did last year. At this point right now, I read 83 books. My goal this year was 50, and when I reached 50 halfway through the year, then I increased it to 75, completely blew that out of the water, and now I'm at 83. There's no way I'm gonna reach 100 by the point that I'm filming this. It's just too close to the end of the year, and I don't read that fast. Thank you for all the love you've shown me this year, and if you want more videos like this, like and subscribe. It really does help my channel a lot, and I will see you all next time. Bye!